Hey everybody, welcome to another Zero Hour vlog right here on Superlative Radio. I'm glad you could join us today. Today I wanted to talk about the MeToo movement. I don't know about you guys, but I'm so goddamn sick of listening to MeToo and political correctness and all this garbage that seems to be going on today. And I mean, I understand how we got to this point where, the MeToo movement, made sense, but even now, when you look at things, we just spend way too much time trying to be politically correct and not stepping on any toes. And Dylan and I were talking, and we were talking about how, and this was on one of our shows, and I can't remember which show it was, but we were talking, I think it was on one of mine, we were talking about comedy, and we were talking about Bill Cosby. We got talking about how Dylan and I both liked his comedy and liked him in his performances and stuff like that, and his shows, he was always funny and stuff, and he did some horrible things, and we were talking about how, we were fans of Kevin Spacey in that sense too, and the whole fact of it's yes, I get that they did horrible things or whatever, but you can't detract from what these guys did in their professional work to how they were off screen or how they were off camera or whatever it might be. I'm not going to sit here and say that they're great human beings. Fuck no. But did they make me laugh, or did they entertain me, or did they? Yes, of course they did. They did their jobs well. Whether or not we agree with how they act off camera or the douchebag or terrible things they did, there's no way I'm going to excuse those actions. That's never going to happen. But I am just tired of the simple fact that it's constantly being brought up as this, as that, and then all of a sudden it's well, you're not allowed to like their work anymore because they were this horrible person in real life. Well, I'm not excusing what they do in their horrible life or how they are in real life, but I'm not gonna look down and not let their work entertain me. It's different if they're this horrible person and then they get into acting, or they get into comedy, or they get into whatever, and then it's oh, well, that's different. Well, they shouldn't even be given that opportunity. And I understand taking things away from them after, if they're continuing to do these terrible things, but it just seems to me that we take everything to an extreme, or we take everything where it's Bill Cosby had the Cosby Show, and it was funny. Yeah, but you're not allowed to watch it now because, he turned out to be a douchebag. Well, okay, but that doesn't excuse the millions of people that enjoyed it and watched it. I think that everything has its merits and everything has its, I guess its ups and its downs. And it just, to me, seems like all we do is focus too much on what somebody did or what they didn't do or how they treated this person, how they treated that person. And, we take their work and just throw it aside like it wasn't there, or it wasn't worth being entertained by. And it doesn't excuse what they do. Would it mean that I would go and I would listen to Bill Cosby today or whatever? Fuck no, I wouldn't. But I'm not going to admit that in the past his work didn't entertain me, or that Kevin Spacey didn't, or anybody else that's been accused of these things. And Louis C.K. is a great example of somebody who I thought, I've seen his comedy, he was funny, he was this, and it turned out he was a douchebag too. Well, you know what, that's just, it doesn't mean that I wasn't entertained when I watched him before I knew all this stuff. Look at what happened with Michael Jackson as an example. People made all these accusations. Nothing was ever proven true or anything with him. And people started to judge him, and it's does that mean you never enjoyed his music? How many people out there that are oh, he was a child molester, he did this, or he did that, or whatever, were at one point big fans of his? And then all of a sudden they changed it. Did his music entertain you at some point? And if it did, if you can say, yes, it did, it doesn't mean that you're condoning what they do. So just because somebody's work entertains you, or, you enjoyed it at some point, and you later find out that they were this, or they were this kind of person or whatever, it doesn't mean that you're a horrible person because you liked their work. And it doesn't mean that their work still isn't entertaining. I guess really that's just all I have to say about it. It's something that just continues to go on. And, a good example is how the United States elected Donald Trump. And this is a man who went around saying about women, grab them by the pussy. Who says that? Who says, just go, they're women, just grab them by the pussy? You don't say that. It's not cool. And to elect somebody like that and put him in public office, you know, I don't know. I guess, you know, if you're gonna start, like I said in my other vlog that I did regarding elections, holding people accountable, it's great to hold people accountable, and everybody should be. So just keep it in mind, and I'll catch you next time on another 0 Hour vlog. Thanks for checking us out on our 0 Hour vlog today, guys. I hope you enjoyed your stay.